Jai Hind students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Students, if you don't sacrifice for what you want, then what you want will become the sacrifice. So, each moment you live must have a purpose. So, strive even harder in all what you do. For with love in your heart and trust in the Lord, every dream that you have will be fulfilled and can eventually come true. With that positive note, students, let's begin today's session. Today, in continuation with the earlier topics of optical instruments, today we'll be discussing about telescope. Yes, we will be talking about telescope. A telescope is basically an optical instrument for seeing, that is viewing, the distant objects clearly and magnified. Now basically, there are two types of telescopes. One is the astronomical telescope, and it can further be divided into two types, refracting type and reflecting type. And the other one is the terrestrial telescope. Terrestrial telescope, as the term suggests, it is the telescope which is used for observing the objects on Earth, right? While on the other hand, astronomical telescope, it is an instrument which is used to observe heavenly bodies. The image of the distant object formed by the telescope subtends a large visual angle at the eye, so that the object appears larger to the eye. So that's the purpose of making use of a telescope. Tele means distant, scope means to look through. To look through the distant objects and to get the magnified image. That is the function of a telescope. Now in our syllabus we'll be concentrating only on the astronomical telescope, and in the first session we'll be considering the refracting type, where we'll make use of lens system, right? So basically an astronomical telescope which is refracting type, it consists of two lens system. One is known as the objective lens or the object lens. The other one is known as the eye lens or the eyepiece. Now object lens, as the term suggests, it is placed facing the object. So placement is facing the object. And students, it is of converging nature. So it must be a convex lens. And a telescope must have large light gathering property so as to obtain a bright image of even a faint object. So its aperture should be large. So it should have large aperture. And also it should have high magnifying power. We'll derive a mathematical expression for that. For high magnifying power, the focal length of the objective lens should be large. So the objective or the object lens should have large aperture and large focal length. While on the other hand, the lens which is close to the eye, that is known as the eyepiece or eye lens. It is also of converging nature, that is, it is also a convex lens. Now students, the eye lens, it should be of small aperture and short focal length. It should be of small aperture and short focal length. Now these two lenses, that is the objective and the eye lens, are mounted coaxially in the two metallic tubes. The tube holding the eyepiece can be made to slide inside the tube holding the objective with the help of rack and pinion arrangement, right? So as usual students, we'll be discussing two cases in case of astronomical telescope refracting type. Case 1 is known as a normal adjustment, that is when the final image is obtained at infinity. So let's try to define the magnifying power or angular magnification of an astronomical telescope for this particular adjustment. And thereafter we'll try to find out a mathematical expression for the magnifying power for normal adjustment, right? So, as per the definition we are aware, magnifying power, it's given by the ratio of beta and alpha. Now here in the case of telescope, as I've stated students, tele means distant. So it is an optical instrument which is used to get the magnified image of a very, very far away object, isn't it? So the object may be considered to be located at infinity. Therefore, beta, as we are aware, it's the angle subtended by the image at the eye. Now in the normal adjustment, the image must be formed at infinity. And alpha always would be the angle subtended by the object at the eye when it is at infinity. In telescope, object will be always at infinity, right? So alpha in the case of telescope is the angle subtended by the object at the eye when it lies at infinity. And in the normal adjustment, beta is the angle subtended by the image at the eye when it is formed at infinity. So students, magnifying power of a telescope in the normal adjustment is defined as the ratio of beta, which is the angle subtended by the image at the eye seen through the telescope, to the angle subtended by the object seen directly when both are lying at infinity, right? So as alpha and beta in practice are very, very small, therefore they can be replaced with their tangents. So it will be tan beta divided by tan alpha. Now let us concentrate on the main construction of a astronomical telescope, right? So as I've stated, it consists of two lens system. This is the objective or the object lens, and this is the eye lens. Now both are of converging nature. The object lens, it's of large aperture and it should have large focal length, while the eye lens, which is close to the eye, it is also of converging nature, but its aperture should be small and it should have short focal length, right? So basically, the objective forms the real and inverted image of the distant objects at its focal plane. The distance of the eyepiece from the objective is so adjusted till the final image is formed either at infinity or at least distance of distant vision. So anyway, in case the final image is formed at infinity, then that adjustment of the telescope is known as normal adjustment. And this is the first case which we will like to discuss, right? So suppose O1, O2 are the optical centers of the two lenses under consideration. It has got large focus. Suppose its principal focus is somewhere over here. This is suppose FO, right? So the object which is assumed to be lying at infinity, its image will be formed at the focus. It should be like this. Ray passing through the optical center, it will remain undeviated, isn't it? And if the object is lying at a very, very far away distance, then the rays from the object may be assumed to be coming parallel to each other, like this. And we are aware after refraction, they will all tend to get converge at the focus. So the image of the distant object will be formed exactly at the focus of the object lens. So this is where the image is formed. This is suppose A dash, and let us consider this to be B dash. Now students, for the final image to be formed at infinity, A dash B dash must also be formed at the focus of the eye lens. So the focus of the eye lens and the object lens must coincide. So this distance is FO. It is the focal length of the object lens, and this distance is FE, which is the focal length of the eye lens. So it's pretty evident that in the normal adjustment, the length of the tube is given by the sum of the focal length of the object lens and the focal length of the eye lens. It's a very, very important relationship between the focal length of the objective and the eye lens, right? And again, I must recall, or I must remind you that A dash B dash, it will act as an object for the eye lens, and A dash B dash must be formed at the focus of the eye lens, so that the focus of the objective and the eye lens both coincides, right? So here one assumption which we'll consider is that the object being located at a very, very far away distance. So what we can assume is that the angle subtended by the object at the eye is practically the same as that subtended by it at the objective. So this is the object lying at infinity or very, very far away distance. So this angle may be considered to be alpha. It is actually the angle subtended by the object at the objective. as the object is located at a very, very far away distance and the length of the tube, right? The length of the tube is very negligible as compared to the distance of the object from the telescope. Thus, alpha may be considered to be the angle subtended by the object at the eye lens or at the eye, right? This is the approximation which we'll consider. So, these being vertically opposite angles, it may be considered to be alpha. It is the angle subtended by the object at the eye when it is at infinity, right? Now students, A dash B dash will act as an object for the eye lens, isn't it? This is the eye lens or the eyepiece, and this is the objective or the object lens. Now, as I've told you, whenever the object is lying at a very, very far away distance, maybe assumed to be infinity, then its image is obtained at the focus. So this must be the focus of the object lens, f0. Now, the final image is to be also formed at infinity. For that, A dash B dash, which acts as an object for the eye lens, it must also be formed at the focus of the eye lens. So this is also Fe. So FO, FE both are coincident, so that the sum of the focal length of the object lens and the focal length of the eye lens is equal to the length of the cylindrical tube, right? Now let's draw the final ray diagram. Now this A dash B dash will act as an object for the eye lens. So ray parallel to the principal axis after refraction will pass through the focus. This is the focus of the eye lens. It is short as compared to the focus of the object lens, right? So after refraction, ray parallel to the principal axis after refraction will tend to pass through the focus like this. And the ray which passes through the optical center, it will remain undeviated. So these are the two rays which enters the eye, and it will appear as if these rays are coming from infinity because these are parallel lines. They will never intersect, isn't it? So the final image will be formed at infinity. So this adjustment when the final image is obtained at infinity is known as the normal adjustment of the astronomical refracting type telescope. So it will appear as if these rays are coming from infinity, so that the final image is formed at infinity. And students, the angle which the final image at infinity makes with the eye or the eye lens, that is considered to be beta. So this angle is beta. And magnifying power, as per the definition, it's given by the ratio of these two, beta by alpha. And as discussed earlier, alpha, beta in practice are very, very small, so they can be replaced with their tangent. So it will be tan beta divided by tan alpha. Now let us find out an expression for the magnifying power of a refracting type astronomical telescope in the case of normal adjustment, that is when final image is obtained at infinity, right? Now tan beta. Students, in order to consider tan beta, you can consider this right angle triangle, isn't it? So it will be perpendicular by base. So it is A dash B dash divided by base is O2B dash divided by tan alpha. In order to consider tan alpha, consider this right angle triangle. So tan would be perpendicular by base. So it is A dash B dash divided by base would be O1B dash. A dash B dash will get cancelled. So we'll be left with O1B dash divided by O2B dash. Now applying sign convention we get, let's apply sign convention. Now as per the sign convention, again we are aware that all the distances measured from the optical center along the direction of the incident ray will be taken as positive, while distances measured against the direction of the incident ray, they are to be taken as negative. Now the direction of the incident ray is from left to right like this. This is the direction of the incident ray. Right? So O1B dash, O1B dash, O1B dash is measured along the direction of the incident ray, right? So it has to be taken as positive. So O1b dash, its magnitude is F naught. So it has to be assigned positive sign. And O2b dash, this is O2 and this is B dash. O2b dash is measured in a direction opposite to that of the incident ray. Therefore, it has to be assigned negative sign. And the magnitude of O2b dash is Fe, which is the focal length of the eye lens. So therefore, students, the magnifying power or the angular magnification of an astronomical refracting type telescope in the normal adjustment, that is when the final image is obtained at infinity, is given by, just substitute these values, it will be minus F naught over Fe. This is the formula. Fo, it's the focal length of the objective, and Fe, it stands for the focal length of the eyepiece. Now, from the following expression, the following points can be concluded. First is, students, this negative sign. It suggests that the final image so obtained is inverted. So basically, it produces an inverted and real image. Now, as the heavenly bodies are spherical, they are round, the inverted image does not affect our observation, right? So negative sign is signifying that the final image so obtained is real and inverted. One more thing, students. For large value of magnifying power or angular magnification, the focal length of the objective should be large, while the focal length of the eyepiece or the eye lens should be small. So that is the reason why the focal length of the eyepiece should be very small, while the focal length of the objective should be very large, so as to have large value of magnifying power. So students, from this article, or rather from this expression, this is what we conclude. We conclude that the magnifying power of a telescope in the normal adjustment will be large if the focal length of the objective is large and that of the eyepiece is small. And as I've stated, this negative sign signifies that the final image so obtained over here, it's real as well as inverted. Clear? So case 1 is over. Now we will discuss the case 2, when the final image is formed at the least distance of distinct vision. Let us define the magnifying power of the astronomical telescope in this case, that is when the final image is formed at LDDV. In this case also, magnifying power is defined as the ratio of beta and alpha. Beta in this case would be the angle subtended by the image at the eye when it is formed at LDDV, while alpha would be the angle subtended by the object at the eye when it lies at infinity. So as usual, alpha and beta in practice are very small, therefore they can be replaced with their tangents. So it may be written as tan beta divided by tan alpha. I'll represent alpha and beta while drawing this ray diagram for this particular case, right? So as we have stated, object lens and eye lens, these are the two lens system which an astronomical telescope possesses of, right? It's of large aperture and large focal length, while it should have small aperture and short focal length. Suppose its focus is large, isn't it? It has got large focal length. So let us consider this to be F naught. So this is the focal length of the objective. Now in the normal adjustment, F naught and Fe tends to coincide. But in this case, the final image is to be formed at LDDV. Here, FO and Fe will not coincide. Suppose this is Fe. So this is the basic difference. Here the image A', B' of the distant object must be formed between the optical center and the focus of the eye lens. Obviously, it will be formed at the focus of the object lens. So it should lie, focus of the object lens should lie between the optical center and the focus of the eye lens. Right? So that's the important difference between these two settings. Now let's draw the ray diagram. Ray of light, which is coming from a very, very far away distance, may be assumed to be coming from infinity. So its image must be formed at the focus of the object lens, right? So ray passing through the optical center remain undeviated, and in case the object is assumed to be lying at a very, very far away distance, then the rays coming from the object may be considered to be parallel to each other, isn't it? and after refraction they will get converge at the focus like this. So these rays after refraction will tend to get converge at the focus of the object lens. Students, draw the ray diagram using ruler, right? And don't forget to indicate these arrows. So here the image is to be formed exactly at the focus. This is suppose A dash and this is B dash. Now students, A dash B dash will act as an object for the eye lens, and since it is formed between the optical center and the focus of the eye lens, therefore its magnified image will be formed on the same side as that of the lens, right? So this is FE, so it is a double convex lens, so the same distance would be over here. This is FE. Locate these points first, right? So now we are aware A dash B dash will act as an object for the eye lens, so any ray which is parallel to the principal axis after refraction, it will tend to pass through the focus, right? It will tend to pass through the focus. The other one, when it passes through the optical center, it will remain undeviated like this. These two rays, students, they're not parallel. These two rays, when produced in the opposite direction, they'll appear to be coming from a point somewhere over here. So here the enlarged image will be formed like this. So these two rays 1 and 2, when enters the eye, it will appear as if the rays are coming from this particular point. So here the image would be formed. Clear, students? So here the final image is formed. And the distance between these two lenses is so adjusted that the final image is formed at the least distance of distant vision. So this distance from the eye or from the eye lens, it should be equal to capital D, which is LDDB, which for normal eye is considered to be 25 centimeter. Clear, students? So basically A dash B dash acts as an object for the eye lens. So this distance may be considered to be U. U is the object distance, and from the eye lens it can be considered to be UE. And this is the final image formed at LDDV. The angle which this final image formed at LDDV subtends at the eye, this angle is beta, isn't it? And the angle subtended by the object which is at a very very far away distance at the eye, that is alpha. It can be considered to be equal to the angle subtended at the objective, because the length of this tube, cylindrical tube, is very small as compared to the distance of the far away object from the telescope. So this may be considered to be alpha. This will be also equal to alpha, being vertically opposite angle, isn't it? So this is also alpha. So beta divided by alpha, that will give us the magnifying power, right? So now let's, students, find out the mathematical expression for the magnifying power of an astronomical refracting type telescope, in this case when the final image is formed at LDDB, right? So M, as we have discussed, it's equal to tan beta divided by tan alpha. So let's substitute these values. Tan beta, for that we need to consider this particular triangle. It's a right angle triangle, perpendicular by base. So it would be A dash B dash divided by base is O2 B dash, right? Divided by tan alpha. For this, consider this right angle triangle. Tan alpha is again perpendicular by base, that is A dash B dash divided by base is O1 B dash. So A dash B dash will get cancelled. So we'll be left with O1 B dash divided by O2 B dash. O1 B dash in magnitude is equal to F naught, isn't it? And O2 B dash in magnitude is equal to UE. I'm not using sign convention over here. Sign convention is to be used only once while deriving the article, and that too in the last or the second last step, right? Put this as equation number 1. Now our intention is to express this magnifying power in terms of least distance of distant vision and focal length of the eye lens and the focal length of the object lens. So we need to eliminate this UE. So consider eye lens And in this I lens, let's make use of Gaussian lens equation. We are aware of this formula, Gaussian lens equation. 1 by VE minus 1 by UE is equal to 1 by FE, isn't it? This is the lens equation. So what we do is 1 by UE, it may be rearranged as minus 1 by FE plus 1 by VE. Simply, students, try to rearrange the terms, right? So it can be further rearranged as minus 1 by FE. If I take it as common, then I'll be left with 1 minus FE divided by VE, isn't it? So put this as equation number 2. Now simply substitute the value 1 by UE from equation 2 in equation 1. Therefore, from 1 and 2 we get the magnifying power or the angular magnification when the final image is formed at LDDV. It's given by, substitute the value 1 by UE over here. So we get minus F0 over FE 1 minus FE by VE. Now students, let's apply in the final step the sign convention. So applying sign convention we get, we are aware of the sign convention, the distances measured along the direction of the incident ray is to be taken as positive, while the distances measured in a direction opposite to that of the incident ray is to be taken as negative. So this is the direction of the incident ray, isn't it? So the direction or the distances measured from left to right is to be taken as positive. So this is the focal length of the object lens and the eye lens. Focal length, both are of converging nature, isn't it? So focal length of a convex lens is positive. Obviously, we are assuming it to be placed in the rarer medium, obviously. So focal length of a convex lens is positive. Both are of convex lens, both are of converging nature. Now what about VE? VE is the image distance, right, from the eye lens. For the eye lens, A double dash, B double dash is the image. This is VE. This is VE, whose magnitude is equal to least distance of distant vision, that is capital D. But VE is to be measured from the optical center of the eye lens, and it is measured O2B double dash. It is measured against the direction of the incident ray, isn't it? It is measured against the direction of the incident ray. So VE, it should be equal to minus D. Negative sign is to be assigned as VE is measured from the optical center of the eye lens in a direction opposite to that of the incident ray. So substituting these values over here, we get magnifying power of the telescope in this particular adjustment, it would be equal to minus F0 over FE 1. If you substitute the value V as minus D, so minus minus will become plus FE divided by capital D. So this is the formula for the magnifying power. You need to remember this formula, students. It is a very, very important expression. So this negative sign, as we have discussed earlier also, this negative sign is signifying that the final image so formed is inverted, isn't it? And for having large magnifying power, FO, which is the focal length of the object, should be large, while FE, which is the focal length of the eye lens, should be small. And students, the key point is, in a telescope, the distance between the object and the eye lens, it depends upon the position of the object basically. The telescope is so focused on a distant object by varying the distance between the two lenses with the help of rack and pinion arrangement, right? So students, we have covered this topic as well. We have discussed both the cases when the image is formed at infinity, which is known as the normal adjustment, and the second case when the image is formed at LDDV. In both the cases, we have found the expression for the magnifying power. So do revise this article, do draw, do practice, the ray diagram, which are very, very important. Without drawing the relevant ray diagram, you won't be able to derive these articles, right? These expressions for the magnifying power. So students, that's it for this particular session. Let's conclude it. And do join me in my next lecture then. I'll come up with some new topics. Basically, in the next lecture, we'll be discussing astronomical telescope, which is reflecting type, right? So till then, bye-bye, and do take very good care of yourself. Keep smiling, students, and keep watching my videos.